You're good.
All right, hello everyone. Sorry about that. The last stream crashed, so we're just going to continue where we left off.
Of an organization that regularly disassembles the means of people who just have powers, captures them, arrests them. They were going to kill Spider-Man, Spider-Man, when he was getting like checked out because he wouldn't take his mask off. They were going to shoot Spider-Man because he didn't take his mask off. The innocent security guards. At a certain point, come on, man.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean,
back to this. You see,
they were
unlike
just
you,
wasn't that just like protocol? Like somebody like random shows up and like so that they probably have to try to verify some way, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
MauLer, when writing this video, and I assume you actually watched the movie and not just read a summary, even though you're getting a bunch of things wrong. Actually, the Punisher did not read ahead in the script and go, yes, in this scene I'll be fighting the Hulk, so let me bring my anti-Hulk gun, whatever.
But isn't the
Give me a
criticism
fucking
that
break, man.
what's the point of even
Never
shooting him?
acknowledges this. Instead, a joke is made at the end of the scene. By the end of the movie, Frank, with the knowledge that Jean is mind controlling everyone in the city potentially to death and has
Not everyone. It's 1 kilometer. Also, there is no indication
Sure,
in
that's
this
true.
film that Jean can just crush someone's heart with their minds. Now, can Jean have them all walk into the water? Sure, but we don't actually know.
All right, hold on. I don't know what the hell is up with the PC whenever you come on, Callisto. What are you doing? You're jinxing me.
Oh,
If she
All right.
can even.
All right.
is it
So
is it
yeah,
working?
yeah. Yeah. Again, sorry guys if like the stream keeps on crashing. Da, 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 da. Let's see. Yeah, people are still coming in. Don't worry about it.
Do that much. She can freeze people within a kilometer, but there's no actual indication that she can actually kill any of them or
Wait,
even
can you
mind
pause?
control all of them.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. What's up?
So at this point, her powers have radically expanded from the initial information we've been given, right? And she's also now threatening to kill all of them. So it would be safe to assume that she probably could follow up on her threat,
Yeah.
right? If you're a superhero and the supervillain has just gained, an exponential increase in power, you might not know the upper limits of what they can do. But if they're threatening to kill a whole bunch of, like, she's frozen every single person in a like kilometer, right, in a circular of a radius of a kilometer, and the thing is still continuing to expand. That's a pretty big power up. Even if she radically decreased it and killed a tenth of those people, that would still be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be crazy.
She can mind control the hand guys, but that's about it. That's kind of the limitation that we see.
No.
You're making a lot of assumptions about a lot of stuff we don't really know yet. And that's a big problem.
Well, when will we know? Like this is just like this is like a
I mean, there's no
reoccurring.
purpose to mind control everybody else in the city, right? Like she's just frozen. She's frozen them because that's what she's doing, and then she's personally controlling the hand. Was that her upper limit? Like, could she not control 20 more people within that vicinity? Like, we don't know exactly.
Yeah. Legacy with $10 super chat. Thank you so much, man. I'll leave my take. This movie is bloated that you could have done like by using the villains they've advertised. Unironically, you can do an adaptation of Scorpion and the Frog. Hmm. Uh
previously killed countless innocent people, sees she and Spider-Man are locked in some form of mind battle, providing him the chance to shoot her, ending her reign of psychotic mind-raping murder, only for Spider-Man to take the bullet, and the Punisher eventually cries and apologizes. He was absolutely right. That spiritually spineless, soggy pillock, absolutely embarrassing and irreconcilable with the man who would have ripped Peter apart for standing in the way of ridding the world of a psychopathic, mass-murdering, mind-raping fiend. Peter.
Yeah, so I feel like you can go both ways with this. I've seen it argued that Punisher not siding with Jean is out of character, and I've seen people arguing that him trying to shoot Jean is also out of character.
No, I'm pretty sure he'd shoot Jean.
You think so? Like, he wouldn't be affected by, he wouldn't be won over by, like, her sister getting killed, by damage control. He wouldn't just willingly help her.
Um,
Obviously, he would
but the issue is
obviously-
even right. He might be sympathetic to her motivation, but the point where she's threatening, like he
Like,
doesn't know what's going to happen, right? Like he just sees a square radius of a kilometer being taken over that's radically expanding. He
Mhm.
can't let it get any worse. He's going to take the shot. He's killed
Yeah.
people for less.
Yeah, like, it's at that point, it's not a matter of whether she deserves it, but it's
It goes
yeah, like,
beyond
what are the
reckless, right?
consequences?
Like it's not as if she's like trying to get Metzger with some psychic blast, and like the psychic blast accidentally knocks over an innocent person who falls off a building or something. I mean, this is beyond the scope of recklessness. This is at this point intentionally endangering hundreds, potentially thousands of people.
Yeah.
Peter Parker, despite having a full view, allows an innocent man to be hit by a car through mind control without pulling him back. Apparently, he's distracted. He's a vacant moron, despite the entire event he was focusing
can you
on
pause,
being
Kino?
Jean showing.
Yeah, what's up?
Shouldn't he have like Spidey sense to counteract that?
For counteract what? His
To pull the guy out of the traffic while Jean Grey like pushes him in, like walks him into the traffic.
I mean, he should just like know, like hear the car coming and just instinctively pull him in. Yeah, he should
Like the Spidey sense in this movie is all over the place as well.
yeah.
Because in if I remember, isn't it in Far From Home he starts being able to detect invisible drones through the Spidey sense?
Yeah, like incoming threats, yeah.
Yeah, so shouldn't he should see like the car? Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, but like the film itself doesn't pay any attention to to the guy getting run over by a car. It could have easily been a deleted scene, and it actually would have helped the film had it not been in there.
How cruel she can be by getting this innocent man killed. Motherfucker, you struggling with your reaction time there, Spider-Man? Speaking of the...
Yes, because they're talking about kidnapping MJ. So yeah, he's distracted.
So?
But I feel like I see this all the time in Spider-Man movies. Like he'll be doing one thing and then his Spidey sense will go off.
Yeah, and he's still very
he'll
much
Stop
aware that
something else.
yeah, he's still very much aware that these are innocent civilians and she's holding them hostage. Like he should be
Like, wasn't it in Avengers
prioritizing their
Infinity War?
safety.
He's having a conversation on the bus, and then like his Spidey sense tingles, and then he immediately turns around
Yeah.
to see like what's happening.
Yeah. You
Right?
can find a bunch of examples.
Like he's on the bus with like all of his classmates. Like I thought the whole idea of Spidey sense is he kind of has an inkling for things that happen before they do.
Mhm.
And I'm not even like a Spider-Man. I mean, I enjoy the character, but I'm not a super. I don't have in-depth knowledge about the character's power set outside of what's in the movies.
Yeah, and again, it's not only inconsistent with his power set, but it's also just inconsistent with his characterization that this is just like an afterthought later.
Yeah, that would be another criticism. Like the Spidey sense in this movie is just all over the place.
Hmm.
This isn't complicated. It's like, this is baby shit. This is baby shit, MauLer. How do you not understand the basics of a plot, dude? If you threaten someone's loved one and know... Okay, first off, in that scene also, this is the first time anyone has acknowledged Peter Parker as a person in like 4 years. And it's Jean Grey threatening to go after MJ, the person who he loves. All of this catches you kind of off guard. Bit of a big thing. Also, this is after he had the inhibitor chip on him, and he's distracted, and he's like all disoriented from that too. He's been having effects throughout the whole film where his senses are so intense, he's not reacting to things effectively. His powers are on the fritz. That's another key factor.
Didn't he have the damper on at that point?
He had the what on?
The damper to like bring him back to nominal levels.
Let me hear that again.
That the whole film chip on him.
I think that should be
also.
If he did have the damper on, isn't the whole point of the damper to account for the boost of the arachnid DNA?
Yeah, that was the. I think they did mention that.
This is after
he had the inhibitor chip. If he had the inhibitor chip
on him, and he's distracted, and he's like all disoriented from that too. He's been having effects throughout the whole film where his senses are so intense, he's not reacting to things effectively. His powers are on the fritz. That's another key factor at play here. He can't even swing correctly because he can't control his webs properly. So
yeah, this is another thing I have a problem with. Like, I understand that they showed why he couldn't use the web shooters anymore, but he's also an engineering genius. He couldn't find a way to reconfigure the web shooters to be more efficient because or to like accommodate his current circumstances, because I feel like that would still be much more preferable than swinging clumsily the way he does in the film.
Okay, there's the chat is saying that the inhibitor wasn't working properly, so I guess that's like fine if he didn't.
Okay.
But then he wasn't like giving indication in the scene that he was being overwhelmed, right? Either like when I'm remembering the arachnid DNA, like the inhibitor malfunctioning, like he starts to get overwhelmed and he starts to shake around and be like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" But I don't know.
So a lot of this is really pathetic, honestly, of your critique. And it's not even that these are necessarily things you can't critique. I think Gene letting the guy get hit by a car, yeah, pretty extreme, I would say. Pretty bad. Not a morally upstanding thing to do.
It's a villainous thing to do. Just so we're clear.
It's also the only thing that could be a death. Only thing.
Well, yeah, the other stuff wasn't a death because Spider-Man was there in times to make sure that it wouldn't kill a whole bunch of more people.
Yeah, it's
attempted murder is still a crime.
She's the reason she's called evil isn't for her total successful attempts at killing someone. It's just the attempts in total.
Yeah, like that's the issue, right? Is by this logic, if the hero is successful in stopping the villain without anybody getting hurt, really, it's like, well, and I guess he feels remorse or something, then it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right, despite the motivation,
he apologized to her.
People, isn't there the scene of the APC just barreling down towards a double-decker bus, and it's only because Spider-Man, forcefully curves the APC, the armored vehicle, that it doesn't just head smash face first into that. Like, how many people would that have injured? Aren't there cop cars flying on fire?
Yeah, she's shooting at people. Are the cops following her?
Yeah. There's nothing really else there. We also don't know if she's, we could survive. I don't know. Point is that's the closest MauLer has come.
He's hospitalized for months.
Yes, like that one cop she was fighting when she possessed Scorpion, like she looked really fucked up. And Spider-Man felt really guilty over her getting hurt. He blamed himself, but he doesn't blame Jean. Doesn't hold her accountable for anything. He holds more accountability. He holds more accountability for himself than Jean in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
full critique, and it's 6.5 minutes in. And I'm not even saying that's a bad critique to make. You can point it out. A lot of people have. That's worth discussing. But it's one thing 6.5 minutes into a video. I don't know. Seems like a bit of a too little, too late kind of thing.
The point of Jean Grey being able to just mind control Metzger and solve the problem.
Yeah, but Ant argues that it's never it's not clear that he knew what was going on, so she has no reason to think that, and that it's heavily like there's a ton of men there. It's a pretty convoluted argument because like she was possessing her sister, and she possessed she saw Metzger there. So she did know that he was involved. And is it ever explained why she can't hop from her sister to one of the other damage control employees?
Well, from her sister, I don't understand the question.
So like she body hops into her sister as she's being experimented on, and that's how she sees VMAX, and that's how she
No,
knows
I
that.
thought she saw VMAX when she was getting tortured herself. I thought it was just like her sister sent her like a transmission or something about VMAX.
Hmm.
But like
Yep.
the issue again with that is, sure, there's no guarantee that Metzger would know, but he is the most likely to know,
Yeah.
right? Like that would, like, what's the point of? Isn't she? Doesn't she use Scorpion to just attack a random base and then squeeze random people and say what's VMAX?
Yeah, like why does she need to do that? Why couldn't she be more
Yeah,
discreet?
like you would just like hop into some of the like upper echelon of damage and control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Also, yeah, the Punisher would feel upset hurting Peter Parker because he likes Peter. You know, he treats Peter almost like a prodigal son kind of thing. It's not like Daredevil where it's another guy. Daredevil also, by the way, in the Daredevil season 2, he also gets in the way of the Punisher's crimes, of Punisher's actions. And the Punisher has a form of respect for Daredevil at some points. He lets him live, for example. But more importantly, Daredevil's disrespectful to Frank. Also, and this is kind of important, the Punisher feels like he owes Peter Parker his life because Peter Parker saved his life in Staten Island. It's a reoccurring joke throughout the whole film. So that's Daredevil hurting someone who... Not Daredevil, I'm sorry, not making up. It's Punisher. It's Punisher hurting someone that he feels he owes a debt to. You know, because Peter Parker saved the Punisher's life in Staten Island at some point, a recurring gag. So all of this is really bizarre. You know, yeah, the Punisher, historically,
I could go 50-50 on this.
Conflicted with Peter in the comics too. And even when Peter gets in the way of his kill, the Punisher respects Peter too much at this point in the comics to just shoot him in the head for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the comics.
And he respects that. That's all really good writing. That's some good stuff. And it's
Yeah, but the problem with this is you can go either way with their relationship in this film, because I don't think it's really well explored as to why Peter because Peter and Frank, they have such different morals that it doesn't really make sense for Peter to not like arrest Frank at the beginning. So
there's no substantive exploration of that through the film. That would have been
compared to the
nice thing to
comics.
have.
Yeah, compared to the comics, which spans years.
Yeah, I could go 50-50. Maybe he'd like apologize to Peter, but he's not letting Jean go.
He definitely wouldn't change his morals, no.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't even just like keep quiet in Daredevil season 2 over like not regretting what he did. He'd rather like he wouldn't just plead criminal insanity. He'd go, I like it. I'll do it again.
Helling in the moment. Now, is it super comic accurate? Probably not. I think the Punisher's a little more jaded and cruel than that. But it's kind of baffling to see this discussion where you're arguing that the Punisher should have shot this. What are we doing here, man?
Well, he would have shot
And
Jean, right?
Like, it's the only reason you're making this argument, and is because she's a teenager.
I mean, it doesn't like when you're threatening that many people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
It,
like
it just
it
doesn't.
doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah, it really does not matter at all.
again, the
But
problem
also from
is
his perspective, right? He has no clue what's going on, right? He's just like, oh shit, like this needs to stop ASAP.
Yeah, yeah, but like yeah, Frank's mindset is very cynical compared to Peter's like optimistic. Yeah, everyone can be saved. Like Frank has like a very like weigh the pros and cons mindset. Yeah, and don't take the risk of Jean living compared to everyone else dying. The possibility of everyone else dying.
the real problem is this. Of all the antagonists Spider-Man has faced, Jean is probably the least overtly destructive. I think the
I disagree strongly. But let's see what his arguments are.
Vulture is another contender too. The Vulture is just a career criminal doing a job. If he can avoid killing, he will. Jean takes a little more revelry in property damage and causing harm to those she feels she doesn't like. But
Well, Mysterio just wants money, right? He if he could, he'd also avoid well, actually no. Like he said he threatened Peter's family too. And he also doesn't care about
But I guess we
casualties.
would have to go back and see how many people are actually like hurt because of Vulture, like intentionally, right? And you'd like
Yeah.
compare that to Jean, because past a certain point, even if Jean Grey's motivation is more noble or sympathetic, if she ends up endangering more people or directly hurting more people than the Vulture, then
Yeah.
that's not a good look, right?
Yeah, the Vulture has sympathetic motivations too. He's also trying to do this for his family after being
Yeah,
unfairly
but it's like
fucked
more
over
for
by
like
damage control.
personal like greed, right? It's like he wants his family, living in a nice house and all that.
Mm.
compared to Mysterio and Green Goblin, Jean is like
Okay, that
not
doesn't
that
matter,
bad.
right?
I mean,
It doesn't
Goblin,
matter relative to somebody else, right? The actions in isolation are bad,
I
regardless of
mean,
anything else.
Goblin also killed like well, he succeeded in killing a loved one of Peter's. The only difference between him and Jean is that Jean was unsuccessful. And I don't even think I don't think Peter even forgave Norman afterwards. Um, he just cured him and set him on his way. He just didn't kill him. Hmm.
Mysterio was going to do a whole, multinational terrorist attack, and Green Goblin almost caused a multi-universal incursion on top of killing his aunt. Yeah, no, there's no comparison here. Peter Parker's not going to have the same wrath he has for them than to Jean, even at any point in the movie, especially after understanding what it was that led to all this to turn out the way it did.
Yeah. Also, backseater. Like I'm having some like technical issues, so I'm only gonna try to do this with Klessa right now. But yeah, we can follow up on what to debate on Sunday for the ant stream if you want later.
Yeah, like just so you know, Jean Grey walks at MJ to the edge of the building, right? And
Hmm.
then you could argue that okay, Peter did a stupid thing with the arachnid taking over by like holding MJ like that. But then she like as MJ kicks off Spider-Man to like hurtle down towards the ground from the top of the apartment building. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, also just like completely let's not forget that she did like sexually assault Peter she she played with his emotions like used had MJ kiss Peter against his will. That's pretty fucked up. I don't think
Yeah,
Vulture did
unethical.
any I don't think Vulture did anything on that scale. to Peter personally.
Mm.
He didn't pretend to be his daughter and kiss Peter.
What, you want to see Michael Keaton undercover?
Yeah, he didn't pretend to he didn't put on blackface
Like
and
he
a
pulled off
wig.
the Mission Impossible man.
Yeah.
Or it's like it's like that reverse Flash scene. It's like it
It
was
was
me,
me,
Barry.
Barry.
Yeah.
I was your first kiss. I gave you hickeys. You can, all right. Legacy for $5. You can make a similar case to Yelena, who caused an avalanche on a whole prison with guards. Could be a war crime, yet she gets cutesy fan art. Yeah. Um. Yeah, there's a good one.
Yeah, I don't remember what specifically caused the avalanche there. I'm fairly certain one of them was responsible for it though, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we can we
Like
can
a lot of,
continue.
yeah, like it was a prison, right? Like
Yeah.
freeing her dad, like a Red Guardian.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
This idiot insect, Peter, when knowing Jean was just in his apartment
Actually, it's an arachnid. I'm sorry.
threatening to reach MJ, decides to chase those she jumps through in mind control. He believes he can trap her within them if they are too far from another body to jump into, even though he knows she can exit them at will from having seen it happen twice already. An especially stupid move when he should be making a beeline to MJ or to his own apartment since...
Well, in this sense, we don't actually know that. The problem is, as far as Peter knows, Jean can be in the vicinity of the body she's hopping out of. You know, that's a factor too. She is, at this point, all he knows is the hop takes 33 meters, at maximum. That's its reach. Or 33 feet, whatever. So, no, yeah, 33 feet, I think. No, 33 meters, I think it is. So we don't actually know if Jean can hop back at will or if she has to be within a certain vicinity of the person first. Peter does not know that because he's never actually seen Jean Grey.
Can you pause this?
Yeah.
So how would that work? Right, this explanation, because she takes control of a grandma, puts her in the APC, then drives the APC however many miles away to smash into the prison, and then starts hopping from there. So what, like she's like driving with the APC to like stay within the vicinity that she needs to in order for this to work? Because the idea is, oh well, he doesn't know how close she has to be to jump back out. But that wouldn't make sense because she's been shown to, I mean, she's hopping super quick, right? And she's still in control of the guy when he's in the helicopter at the skyscraper, right? Like way up in the air, way more than 33 or even like anywhere close to where anybody else would be. So even if he would assume that, it doesn't even make sense.
Yet. So your own logic doesn't add up in that sense. He's trying to stop her from body hopping and doesn't actually know if she can just automatically go back at will. Now, we know that from the end of the film, she can do that. But at this point, Peter doesn't know that. And so Peter is operating with 30 feet.
If you pause, if his argument is that Peter doesn't know what her range is, if he's suspecting that she would be close, once she disengages the mind control, would he not have the inkling to look around the area to like see if she was close by?
Yeah. Yeah, he
I think this is just pure conjecture. Like, why would we not believe that? Like, if she's able to just hop so like from one across the city from one end to the other end, it's like, oh, okay, like she can mind control somebody from super far away relative to her position, but to then disengage the mind control, she has to then approach and be close to that person. Like what? This doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't sure if it was meters or feet. That makes more sense.
Like a She has to be a couple feet. Yeah, it really doesn't make any
Feet
sense.
makes, meters be a long distance if that's the case. Yeah, there'd be no chance of
That's 10
Punisher
meters.
being able to fight Jean that way. So 35 feet, 33 feet. We have no idea at this point if Peter Parker, or if Jean Grey needs to be also within 33 feet of her final victim to go back into her head. We don't know that.
What?
So that right there
I
is
don't see how that's logical whatsoever. So she can hop infinitely at whatever distance, but the last person needs to be within her vicinity.
I feel as though he's just making
Because
just
if
making up
that was a
rules on the
suspicion that
spot.
Peter would have, he would, once he sees the mind control disengaged, he'd be like looking around, like, oh, is there somebody nearby? Like, obviously, the assumption is that like she's somewhere else entirely.
Yeah, like wouldn't he be focusing on someone trying to get away? Like who's the most suspicious person?
another issue.
Since he knows he is immune to Jean's mind control and can easily neutralize her. When reaching MJ, he simply assumes she couldn't possibly have been mind controlled in time. He believes everything she
Also, can you
says. Again,
pause?
he's a
This is something I
vacant.
wondered. In order to mind control MJ, would she not have like to get somebody to knock on the door or something to like have her open it up? I mean, I guess you could say, but like, would she be able to do that within the time Peter gets there? I don't know.
Well, could she have possessed like another party goer?
Well, no, that's the party's over, right? She's just chilling in her apartment alone.
Yeah, like what?
So like she mind controls somebody to like super like climb up the fire escape and then peer inside the apartment and then hop in there.
Yeah, like what? Yeah, like how did she possess her?
It's a minor detail, whatever.
Maybe
Yeah,
was
we're
she
gonna be accused of cinema
what
cynics.
was she like looking through her apartment window with like binoculars and that's how she did
No,
it?
it has to be within 33 feet, right? So I'm
Oh
assuming
yeah.
like you would have to literally be at the fire escape.
Huh.
Spider flavored watermelon fuck. Peter eventually meets Jean directly.
So here's the thing, too, I have a problem with right now. I'm basically debunking everything you say pretty effectively, very quickly, and it's basic
No,
stuff.
not really. No.
Saying he's vacant, though, what does that mean? Because he didn't make the decision that you would have him make, and thus knowing where the plot's going to go. With this kind of stuff, you have to ask yourself, how does Peter know the information he's responding to? He knows it through observation. He has never observed for a fact Jean being further from 33 feet going back to into her own brain. So as far as he's concerned, he's trapped Jean into this little confined space. For now,
but if he assumed that would be the case, then he would be looking for Jean once she hops out both those times, correct? Like if he assumes she's in the vicinity, then why would he not be like, hey, let me like get up to a high vantage point and see who's running away or something?
Yeah, and in this film, like I've seen a lot of people praise Peter or the director pushing Peter to be a detective, but he hardly does any detective work at all. He just has everything spoon-fed to him. John Gets Gaming for $2. I have commented on your video, therefore debunked. Thanks a lot, man. All right, let's get back to it.
MJ's safe. That is his first priority. Stopping the threat from leaping. That is, as far as he knows, the direct solution to the problem. Why would he think Jean is possessed if there's no reason for him to believe Jean can escape the body of someone who is being actively possessed? So that's the big issue here. You're engaging with information that you know because you've seen
Peter
more
Parker
of the
supposed to be
film.
smart, right? Like that's kind of the one of the aspects of his character, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll say this: the first time I watched, I didn't pick up on the fact that people were saying, "Oh, I don't remember anything." I didn't like pick up on that, right? But like, I would assume like Peter too.
But Peter does not know at this point. It's not complicated to know that the character can only act based on information provided to them at that moment. It's very simple, actually.
Correctly, and fails to web the shit out of her, at least her feet even, like he
Or okay, well that goes both ways. And if they are given like sufficient information and they're established to know the information, should like when they're put into a situation where the information would help, they would be expected to use it, right? Yeah, like Peter should be picking up on all these like subtle signs, like trying to form a connection.
did to people earlier in the movie, leading to the Hulk sneaking up on Spider-Man.
How would I'm a little confused here, MauLer. You have to explain it here. How would webbing Jean's feet stop the Hulk from attacking him if the Hulk is already possessed? It makes no damn sense. That's not how it works. The Hulk's already been possessed and has been for a while.
Could you rewind that? Could you rewind that?
Let me rewind to what MauLer said.
It's very simple, actually.
Correctly, and fails to web the shit out of her, at
like
least her
wind back
feet.
like 10, 15 seconds more. Yeah, okay. Like wind back before this as well. No, before this, because what MauLer says before this is. Oh man. Okay, never mind. This and pause this for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, just play. Yeah.
Correctly, and fails to web the shit out of her, at least her feet even, like he did to people earlier in the movie, leading to the Hulk sneaking up on Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. This is where the spider sense could have come in. Like, how did
Yeah,
he not
that was
detect
my
her?
thing. I was like, wouldn't he have spider sense that?
Yeah, or at least, the very least, hear the Hulk.
I don't know.
But
It's gonna be like, when is the inhibitor working properly or not? I don't remember to that specific detail. Like at what point it's malfunctioning, at what specific scene, and what part it's working properly, or whatever. But if the inhibitor was working at the time, I like wouldn't he would be able to sense the rock flying at him.
yeah, he should.
How would I'm a little confused here, MauLer. You have to explain it here. How would webbing Jean's feet stop the Hulk from attacking him?
Well, that's not necessarily. Well, that's not really what he.
Yeah, it
was
would be
saying.
to keep Jean in place, so
Yeah,
she can't hop to anybody else, right?
Like
Instead, like when she's walking around, right?
Yeah, and the criticism is how like the Hulk is able to sneak up on Peter. Um, like how does he not know that the Hulk, like the most unsubtle creature, like the most unsubtle superhero in the MCU, is sneaking up on him?
If the Hulk is already possessed, it makes no damn sense. That's not how it works. The Hulk's already been possessed and has been for a while, so none of that would really do anything. Plus, don't forget, Jean is not physically able to take on Peter. At this point, Jean's telekinetic abilities have not developed yet. All she can do is body swap. So he does not know that Hulk is there, and more importantly, his senses are all kerfuffled because of his mutation. He's suppressing the mutant gene. That's one factor. Also, though he knows something's coming because he can spider sense it, that does not always mean that he can respond fast enough, especially not the Hulk. The Hulk moves like a fucking brick house, you know? He moves at he is a wall of force and he's going fast.
But that's
Spider-Man.
The debris. That's not the Hulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if he can dodge bullets, then that debris is slower than a bullet, right? Like that piece of debris didn't break the sound barrier.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can like there are times this is appealing to like comics and stuff, but like there are times when Spider-Man is able to dodge debris thrown at him from like Rhino or something. I don't know. I think it's like it's a reasonable expectation to have that he has like he's able to dodge debris.
Probably can't outpace the Hulk. at this point in time, especially if
no,
just
it's not
caught
the
up
Hulk. It's the Hulk throwing something at him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
on his spider senses. Because sometimes Spidey can still get hit by things, even if his senses kick in and he kind of moves in some directions with it.
What?
I repeat,
I mean, maybe if a piece of debris was big enough, like he still moves out of the way, but it's so big he still gets hit by it, something like that.
Yeah.
Hulk sneaks up on Spider-Man, as though his footsteps aren't heavier than an Ozempic-deprived Boogie 2988.
I'm in tremendous pain! I'm in tremendous pain! Help me! Help me! Help me!
Peter then decides it's intelligent to have the Punisher deal with Jean,
Well, more than the Hulk. Come on.
despite the fact that he doesn't want Frank to kill her, as is the Punisher's MO. On top of that, Peter warns of the 33-foot distance he must keep from Jean, as though they aren't...
Didn't we just describe this? This is the same thing we did a few minutes ago. This is the same thing. We covered this like 2 minutes in, right? Like, what are we, 7:54
Okay, I wasn't
right
here
now,
for-
right? Hang on.
I don't know.
Destruction of another building and the almost death of Spider-Man. Meanwhile, she mind controls the Punisher to break open a security system in the hopes of finally discovering the location of her 6-foot
Yeah, we just talked
distance
about
he
this.
must keep from Jean, as though they aren't in an office building replete with corners at every square meter, meaning she could easily mind control Frank and cause mayhem, only for Frank to then be mind controlled, causing...
Yes, how dare the teenager come up with a quick plan on the spot and it not be flawless? How dare I mean, again, Punisher is the tactical guy right there. But
Yeah, so he's just blamed
Okay.
for no reason.
But like,
He
wouldn't
wouldn't,
that
like,
be an
he-
immediate issue? Like, hey, Punisher, go try to stop Jean. Also, there's nothing protecting you to be mind controlled, right?
Yeah. Or yeah, he should have. Peter should have. Did Peter ever communicate like how specifically Jean's powers worked to Punisher?
Yeah, I think he told him, right? Like
Okay.
Stan, like I think MauLer just said, is like, hey, like, or just stay back. And he's like, yeah, I got this, you go. And then he just gets instantly like, doesn't Jean just like turn the
Maybe-
corner or something?
Yeah, maybe this is like a criticism you can levy at Punisher's character because he's just like not acting how he should in this
But like
situation.
the issue is, it is like a building. Like you're just gonna immediately be closer.
He's never been.
like.
I
And
don't think he's ever been in this
when he
building
turns the
either.
corner, right? That's a major issue because he can't see what's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, he's also never been in the building, so he should be like more careful.
he's also overconfident and is just jumping in.
That doesn't really. But that's not really Punisher's character.
Spider-Man says don't go within 33 feet. He does say that.
Okay. Yeah, so then Punisher's just being an idiot, which is not really like he's bloodthirsty, but he's not really. He doesn't put himself into.
Yeah, it's
like-
even worse. He stops to look at some vials of shit. Like he gets distracted by like looking at like something in the facility, and then Jean just turns the corner and mind controls him. So
Yeah, that sucks. It's dumb.
This is just babble. Like, yeah, the plan didn't work for those reasons that it doesn't work in the movie. Like, yeah.
The overly cautious guy who sets up traps all around his base is not extremely cautious when dealing with someone who he knows can easily control him. Yeah,
well, it's even worse because Punisher is just like, oh, hey, look at this. This is interesting. Wow. Like, hey, even though I'm supposedly up against somebody who can instantly mind control me, whatever.
That's why it didn't work. Wasn't a good plan. It's not a critique though. That's a built-in feature of the plan. It doesn't go right because the plan doesn't work. That's a key element of plans in movies. People make plans, something falls apart in the plan.
Right, but
make
depending
a
on
new
the
plan as a result.
character, they would either come up with a good plan or a crap plan. Right? That's
Yeah,
the
like,
point. Like
do we
inevitably, yes, something will go wrong, sure. But
So-
like in Ocean's 11, like in the Ocean series, the plan always, it's like some hiccup always happens. and then they have to deal with that. But it's not as if their plan from the get-go is like ill thought out.
Yeah, so we have a like a military tactical genius, or like someone whose intelligence is on that level, and just a regular like scientific genius getting outsmarted by just a teenage girl with like possession powers. Yeah, it's just like I don't know about that.
That's a common trope in films because in real life,
It feels like the plot had to have them lose brain cells for that to work.
and this is shocking, I know, sometimes plans don't work. I know, shocking. Also, when you're fighting the Hulk, your mental capacities to survive override common sense and strategy. Because you're fighting the Hulk.
Wouldn't it be the opposite? Well, it depends on the character. Like, oh shit, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then you
Well,
like
doesn't
come up with
Spider-Man sometimes come up with
solution.
plans in the heat of battle that are clever to stop the villain?
Yeah, like he sometimes he has to improvise a lot. Like he loses his web shooter in No Way Home, and he has to make do with what he has. Like
Hmm.
the remaining web shooter has to be
I would
tactical.
say again, like I'm fine with the plan going wrong or not working. The question is who's the character who's making the plan, and then is that plan commiserate with the intelligence that you would believe they have, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
right.
kind of what the whole glass onion discourse was about, which is
Oh my God.
like like people are saying, "Oh, he's dumb." It's like, yeah, but then he becomes smart when he needs to, right? Like that's the
Don't
problem.
remind me of that pile of shit, please.
These are things a child could tell you, but apparently MauLer explains it as though it's the profound statement of fact.
Mayhem. Everyone is fucking brain dead in this lobotomized toilet soup. Peter is told by the director of the DODC that he remembered being mind controlled. Peter then later realizes through MJ saying she doesn't remember anything before waking up on the street that the director must have been lying, even though Peter should already know that because the guy on the roof said the same shit. In fact, so did Scorpion, so did Bruce, so did Frank. Peter, what are you doing? You
Okay, actually, he didn't. They didn't say that. They actually didn't say that specifically. If you look at what they say in those lines, let's take a look at them because you provided the clips of your bootleg that you provided based on your translation.
I guess like the prediction
though Peter should
was going to be
already know.
like, oh, what they did versus what they were thinking.
Is that
Is
Miles
that going to be
Braun?
the thing?
Or is that just Edward Norton Hulk? I couldn't tell. I think it's Edward Norton Hulk. Never mind.
Yeah, I think
that
that's
because the
Edward
guy
Norton.
on the roof said
Because remember, Edward Norton played the villain in Glass Onion. That's why I mentioned it.
the same.
All those things they said I did, I don't remember doing any of them. Yeah, that's fair. But there's a key element. He's in shock, and time has passed since then. Peter did not commit every single line of dialogue to memory. Do you remember every conversation you've ever had, especially when you're like distracted with someone?
I mean, when you're
But this
like
this
when
happens
when it's
multiple times though, right?
when it's in direct relation to someone you're trying to stop, and you know that they're possessing people, and you're looking for patterns. Yeah, it should come up.
No, he didn't. That's at the start of the movie. A lot happens between that point and the end of the movie.
Same shit. In fact, so did Scorpion. So
The Scorpion seems distracted
Oh yeah, Scorpion's.
and confused. From the outside perspective, why would Spider-Man know that? Also in that scene, Spider-Man just heard a cop and is distracted. He's not going to remember all that. In all these instances, he is distracted. Right here, there's no reason for Peter to have even heard Bruce say this, because he's somewhere else in this scene.
So did Bruce. So did Frank.
So I will say this.
Frank's not saying that. Frank.
This is a potential thing that you could say, which is, it seems like Metzger says that, like, I had a coworker named Sarah, and while she was in my mind, maybe that memory affected her, which would be technically different than saying, I don't remember what I did, right? Because he's not saying that he remembered something. He's just saying like, oh, maybe while she was digging in my mind, she found that detail out or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is that?
But this is a worse argument to say that to say that, oh, well, like Peter just forgot because, you know, you just forget things day to day. I mean, this isn't exactly like what he had for breakfast 4 days ago, right?
Yeah.
My gun. He seems more disoriented. That does not mean he didn't remember anything. The problem is with the scenes is that you're describing scenes where either a character is distracted by something else and not paying attention to every word said around him, or it's vague enough that you as the audience member afterwards pick up on what's actually being said here and communicated, but in the moment, nothing they're saying actually would say that specific information to someone else. That's it.
Well, I mean, wasn't it?
Peter,
I don't know
what?
about you, Kino. Could you pause it? It's like I
Sure.
didn't have to think too much about like how Jean could infiltrate damage and control. Like like that was like during the movie. I was like, wait a minute, why doesn't she just do that? And the characters in the story have days. Like this takes course, right? This whole story takes course over however many days, right? So, like they have technically the characters have even more time.
Yeah. Good point.
What are you doing, you fucking spider retard? It also makes no sense because MJ clearly realized she was falling as Peter grabbed her, meaning she absolutely did know what was happening before waking up on the street. But on top of that, it
She does say that. Of course she says she woke up falling. So, like, that's a nonsense point.
doesn't make the DODC director a liar to say that he knows she mind-controlled him, because all the victims know they have lost time, and he knows what her powers are. Peter Parker casually invented an inhibitor.
Yeah. So what do you think about that point?
Well,
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, he does that is kind of like a believable excuse.
yeah, I think the point would be that he would know that he was mind control. He's just saying like, oh, like she got the name from, like a coworker I had, right? Like I don't think he's saying he remembers being mind controlled or that's the specific memory. He's just like, oh, this is probably what she found out.
Yeah.
Marlo, you're fucking No. Okay. No. Marlo, that's not what Bill says in that scene. He says that when he was mind controlled, she remembered he brought a memory of something there. He invaded his mind and remembered something while mind controlled. That's not what you said, Bill said, is not what he said in that scene. Like, dude, you scripted this video. You had time to focus on it. I'm on a live stream. I'm just
Technically,
spouting out
if we want to pause here, he doesn't say like he remembered that while being mind controlled. Is that, oh, she must have just figured that out more so than anything else. But that minor detail again.
I recall from the film that I saw over a week ago. And like, I can tell you what you're saying is bullshit. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, this is really ridiculous. You're making a bunch of key errors with what he's even saying here. Like, what are we doing? Jesus Christ. Okay.
Well, it's not as
So,
his arguments have been really good either, right? For most of this.
That detail.
What do you mean? Like, Ant's
Like the whole,
Ant-
oh, she's in the vicinity.
Ant's own opinions
Like,
are
what?
peer reviewed by himself, don't you know?
Not the end of the world. He's been wrong about a lot of details, including what characters are saying and doing and how they are acting in the film. But you know what? That's okay. You can get a few things wrong if the core of your argument is sound. What is his core argument so far? Jean is a bad meanie pants. Peter didn't make the best decisions in every scene, and Punisher did not make the best decisions in every scene.
It's
That
not
is
like
like-
best
that's a-
decisions. It's like,
that's like a gross-
basic character assassination, right? That's the issue. It's not like,
That-
oh, did they make the most logically coherent decision 100% of the time? It's like, hey, they forgot basic stuff, or they didn't follow up on things they should have, or
Yeah, this is just
you
this is such
know-
an oversimplification. It's just like a punishment for people paying attention when they make the worst decision they can make. It's not that they had to make the best decision; it's that they just can't make the least obvious or like the the most unintelligent decision.
Yeah, I might disagree with this specific point, but like that's like one I would disagree with, I guess.
That is so far the crux of his argument, that Peter Parker didn't read the script and know Jean's power set exactly before he figured out his power set, which we see him do actively on
Again, the
screen.
issue is like Ant saying that that's what Peter's thinking, but his follow-up actions don't communicate that, right? Like that would be my rebuttal.
You know, when you put it like that, it almost sounds like your critiques are pretty superficial. Mind you,
they're
he's
not
really
superficial.
Shots
talking about
fired.
anything
Shots fired.
with
on.
Peter's arc. He's not talking about the character journey Peter undergoes. He's talking purely about the external conflict. And even then is getting some key details wrong, even though he has a bootleg on screen with the footage. You have the bootleg. It's right there. You
Okay,
literally have the footage.
Can we just pause? If the like moment to moment plot is incoherent or doesn't make sense, it's like maybe we should discuss that before we then get to like the character arc, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like here's like how it goes, right? Like
It's like the whole Last Jedi thing, right? It's like, but the
Yeah,
theme. It's like, hey, what about the
yeah,
moment to moment plot? Who
yeah,
cares?
like picture a cake, like the foundation of the cake is what matters first, and then you worry about the icing. Like the themes are the icing, like the cake itself is the plot. Like you gotta make sure everything goes together. Although, if the cake isn't good, then you're not gonna care about the icing.
On hand. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and like this
You
is
have
like,
it. It's right.
Like you could do this, right? Like with The Dark Knight Rises, somebody goes through the plot and is like, this doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, hey man, you don't realize the epic character arc that Batman goes on once he realizes that the fear of death has to take him once again to be able to literally rise from the well that he's put himself in. Like, you know, it's just like, oh, okay, it's like, yeah, that's there. We could talk about that. But man, some of these details.
It's such a
we
slog
got
to
some
get to that.
issues.
It's such a slog to get to that moment, and like when I rewatch it, all I want to get is that moment. I think that's
What?
oh
Oh.
no, just like your example, like you can find like a good scene in a film that
Oh, I
communicates the
think there's some
theme.
fun parts before then, no?
No, I'm just saying in general, right? So you
Oh,
can
yeah,
find
sure.
like you can have like certain scenes like affect you on an emotional level, and you like it, like Tron Legacy, for instance. I like the ending scene of Jeff Bridges' character, like confronting Clue. Uh, like perfection isn't like is what we seek, but it's out of our hands all the time. Well, we seek perfection, yet it's around us all the time. Like I really like that scene, but it's such a
Damn,
slog to get to that.
you pulled that out, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's such a slog to get to it with the rest of the movie.
Oh, look, Ace is in the chat. Look what he's
Ace?
saying.
Oh
Yeah, you
no.
two are nerds.
We love Anthony. You talk about movies, I talk about villains. We are not the same.
Shots fired.
Technically, we're talking about a villain right now.
Yeah, we're talking about
There.
No, yeah, that's gonna sound even worse. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you're doing good, Ace.
You can review the footage when you're writing the script to make sure you're not screwing it up. What are we doing here? Like, he's just
It's literally
wrong.
nitpicks.
Like, there's a lot of
It's
things he
not
got wrong.
nitpicks. Like some of it, sure. Like if you want to do the structure of the floor, whatever. But like some of the stuff isn't right.
Yeah, like even if you like disagree with the criticism, like how does he not see that this isn't just simply a nitpick, but a foundational problem?
And it's not like you're going off of memory like I am. I saw
Yeah.
the movie
Yeah, you do well yourself, Ace. Have a good one.
more than 7 or 8 days. Oh, no, actually, it was opening weekend. So it was like, a while back. That's about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, about like 2 weekends ago.
John Gets Gaming with another $5 super chat. What's up, man? Ant refuses to hold writers accountable for keeping any logical consistency or characterization. MauLer, things should make sense though. Ant, LOL, rolling on floor laughing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
I'm
honest,
going-
KO. We're not even gonna get close, dude. We're not even gonna get close
This is a
to
slog.
finishing this.
Yeah, well, let's do what we can.
Off memory here, and even I know what you're saying is bullshit. You had the footage on hand to review as you
This
were
is just like
scripting. You can
the same point dragged out.
You want me to speed it up? Try speeding it up?
Yeah, just go to 1.25 real quick.
Okay.
go back and check it if you wanted. These mistakes are far more egregious when you
We're about to listen to Ant on cocaine, guys.
have the information present. So what are we doing? This is bullshit, man.
That applies to the most powerful mutants, Spider-Man himself, and the fucking Hulk, meaning he just created a universal muzzle to superpowers and provided the design to the Department of Damage Control,
Yes.
i.e. the government. What an absolute, immoral, idiotic, boot-licking fucking lamp, illustrated by his almost complete lack of...
The problem is Peter is trusting, but this is also...
Oh my god, I hate this. He's been trusting for the past two movies, and it only got him into further trouble. He was too trusting with
Wasn't it Far
Mysterio.
From Home? He trusted Mysterio.
Green Goblin. Oh yeah. Far From Home, he trusted
And then
Mysterio,
that was
and
a
then
mistake.
yeah, and then he trusted Green Goblin. That was a mistake. Now he's trusting Damage Control again, and he's still trusting them with the inhibitor chip.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a good point, Kino. Yeah.
yeah, this is like a problem I have. Another problem, like besides the gene stuff, Peter's characterization is just goes back to the status quo. Like he just becomes dumb because the plot demands it, because we need the status quo, because that makes money. It's such a it's such a creative it's such a creatively bankrupt decision.
presented as a mistake. He's so desperate to suppress his own means that he doesn't think. He doesn't doubt the integrity of those around him. He works with the government, and that bites him on the ass. You're describing characters making decisions that are bad decisions because it makes sense for the character to do that at the time.
Okay, but
But would it after all the times it hasn't worked out?
But Ant, the problem is that it's selective. You're being entirely you and the movie are being entirely selective with his characterization. Like you can't say that that Peter wouldn't like that Peter would be too trusting because he made the mistake of being too trusting in the past couple movies. Yet also say that him like him not arresting Jean is in character, even though he was arresting, like in his very first appearance in the MCU, he was arresting other superheroes.
Even though we know it's a bad decision. One thing I hate about critics like this, they act like characters making bad choices is a flaw when it's actually deliberate.
No, it's
I don't
continuously
know. It's not
continuously
it's not
making
bad choice. Yeah, sorry.
it's continuously making the same bad choices over and over. You get tired of it.
Yeah, it's just out of character decisions, right? Like certain characters would make certain decisions, other times they wouldn't. Really like depends on what the character himself would do. Wasn't it? I don't remember where I like heard this, but somebody else said it, not me. But they were saying that when they were discussing like Anakin rushing into battles, like it was a bad plan, but like it makes sense for his character, right?
Yeah,
So
he's
it's
headstrong.
just really, it's like if the character has learned multiple times beforehand that he's too trusting, and he's developed this powerful technology, maybe he'd be try to navigate a way to be more careful.
Yeah. Shining Diamond 5046 for $2. Did anyone else find Yelena unfunny and dumb? Yeah, I found her
Yes.
extremely dumb.
Yeah, I did not find it funny.
She's at this point I'm treating her like an industry plant, like Peggy Carter from What If. Like she's so insufferable.
Oh, is that what I never saw What If, so I don't know.
Good, like keep it that way.
Written that way to show the characters making mistakes. Maybe MauLer just wants characters to say exactly what they need to in any given moment, but that makes for a boring story. A good case study for that is All the Time in the World.
Okay, like Ant, you would agree that love triangles or like bad romance tropes of characters, like the story going on due to simple misunderstandings and characters not talking to each other, like that's a cheap writing tactic, right? Like this is like I think this is a really reasonable complaint from MauLer. Just like have the characters act consistently in their intelligence and make the appropriate decisions
You know what
based
this is?
on.
This is the Luke Skywalker, like, oh, you're like, people make mistakes when he tries to kill Kylo. It's like, yeah, okay, like that's what we're dealing with, you know.
Yeah. So again, MauLer's critique here is that the bad decision Peter makes is bad. Yes, that is exact. And by the way, everyone tells him what a bad choice inhibitor is. MJ does. The Hulk does. Punisher doesn't really do all that much himself. But it is not subtle that what Peter is doing is a bad idea, and it is derived from an idea to forcibly convert himself to one identity, when the resolution is to accept all aspects of yourself. It's very Persona 4-esque, I think. I mentioned that a bunch of times in my video about it. But still, right there, getting some details wrong here. A lot wrong.
Of care as that innocent man is splattered, by the way. Pete just moved.
The fact he only has that one clip as proof is reoccurring to show that he has very little actually critique of the movie. And so far, he has only critiqued the internal conflict.
Isn't there
That kicks it in about
isn't
an
there
hour
the
into
kid who's about to get run over by a car that Jean caused, and then Spider-Man swoops in to save him? Isn't that's another one?
Which one?
Like at the beginning of the film, there's where she's taking like the armored vehicle and barreling through the city. There's like a cop car that goes flying because it like hits the APC or whatever, and then it's barreling towards a kid, and
Yeah,
then it's gonna hit the
he's
kid, and then
yeah, he just
Spider-Man
look
swoops in,
yeah, and he
and then
just
he's
like
like, "Oh, you
he
okay?
looks
You're
dazed.
okay."
He looks dazed, like he's like stunned,
And
and he's
again,
just
like
like
taking MJ and then like kicking her, like kicking Spider-Man to launch her off the roof, like I don't know, whatever.
she just wants her sister. Callisto, stop being insensitive.
Innocent man is splattered, by the way. Pete just moved.
The fact he only has that one clip as proof is reoccurring to show that he has very little actually critique of the movie. And so far, he has only critiqued the internal conflict. That kicks it in about an hour into the film.
The fuck on. Not a care in the world. The guy sees the most blatant.
I mean,
But isn't this usually the structure of MauLer's vids, right? He'll like go through the plot for like the beginning of the video, and then at the conclusion he'll tie in the various characterization, like he'll summarize the character flaws in the movie, the arc that the characters have, the themes, etc.
yeah.
I mean, that's my recollection. And right, yeah, because I think it's in the Multiverse of Madness video, like he'll go through the plot. And then at the end, towards the end, he was like, okay, this is what like the movie was saying about Doctor Strange, and this is why it was bad. I'm fairly certain Ant would have watched MauLer's vids by now to know that.
Well, you see, like in the last stream, Ant said that watching Mahler's videos is akin to gargling nails without any milk. So, and the only
Wait,
reason
what?
the only reason he watched this one is because he briefly mentioned him at the beginning. He called him a lying
Okay.
shit mole. So yeah, that's why he's watching this one.
Mind control with confirmation afterward, and he doesn't tell the police explicitly what he saw, despite several people now likely heading to jail as criminals. Peter said,
well, he has to be able to prove it. Like, you can't... Oh, wait, what's going on? Big channel in there, The Golden Men? Cool. MauLer has degraded the film criticism game, trying with the shallow pseudo-intellectual videos. Yeah, no, 100%. And again, the problem is he's acting as though these are details that are flaws.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are we supposed to do? Like, oh, now everything goes down to... Like, I feel as if when people dislike a film, like when they personally dislike a film, they will very much shift to the story doesn't make sense, right? They'll do these sorts of criticisms. But when they like the movie, and then you start making the same criticisms, they're like, oh, well, like, whatever. You're not discussing the character arc. You're not discussing, like, the actual... proper film reviews are, only deep analysis of the themes.
Yeah,
And then that's it.
Yeah,
That's the only thing allowed.
You're only allowed to criticize a film if it's unpopular. If it's popular, then you're just a contrarian, trying to make a name for themselves. Or you lack media literacy. You're just wrong.
I mean, the logic here isn't great, right?
Yeah.
So
I
don't.
actually saw an ad promoting like media literacy on the news today. Like
How to watch Spider-Man Brand New Day
as a commercial.
take
Like
our course.
I was stunned. I didn't think that our children need to learn media literacy. Like that's what that for word that's literally what it said. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was just like
Okay, this
it's so
comment. MFs like MauLer are so inconsistent. When a character makes perfect choices, they're OP and boring. When they're written to F things up, it's a sin against humanity. It's like, no, he's arguing that when they make these decisions to F things up, it's fundamentally out of character, right?
hmm
That would be the criticism.
Yeah.
And
You
and
can't
it's not so much even the character making perfect choices. It's like the OP would be Ray, right? Like it's not like Ray just making the best choice. It's like she wins like all the time and all like all this stuff, right?
yeah, like just completely ruining any tension.
Like I'm pretty sure Captain Marvel makes like some bad decisions, but it doesn't matter because she's OP as hell, right? So she could just blitz through
Yeah,
everything.
like Han Solo, it makes sense when he does questionable things or just like makes mistakes because a part of his character is being a scoundrel. Um, but you still expect him to not do certain things because he's also a man of honor at the end of the day. He's an honorable man. He loves Leia.
Just
Yeah.
details, you know. But again, the problem is that he is going back to these scenes, giving them more weight in Peter's story. Again, when watching a film, you got to ask yourself a couple questions. One, what does the audience know? And what do the characters know? The characters hear something, but they can't prove anything. Peter can't just go to the police and say, I saw this thing happen. It's very meaningless if he can't validate their concerns with proof. So he goes and investigates and does more homework to find out more answers. He goes to the New Avengers for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the New Avengers have no like justification just turning him
You
away.
are
Doesn't make any sense.
you are a small potato.
That line has been memed so much. Oh my gosh.
I was just like I'm like what is this? I'm like okay.
It's just like
And it's like what exactly are the new Avengers working on, right? Like that they're on the
that
big potato. Like what is that case? It's clearly
yeah,
not like
this
really
is
that bad because she's
yeah,
just chilling in the sauna the whole time.
this is probably the weakest version of the Avengers that we've had in the MCU. Like they are small potatoes.
So again, all of that is
Doom should just
reflective of
come in
someone
and
who does
kill
not
all of them.
understand.
Oh, what's up?
I said Doom should just come in and kill all of them.
They might do that. Their movie didn't do very well at the
Except
box
John
office.
Walker.
Yeah.
What's going on? It's that simple. That simple. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, what the police gonna do? Well, Gene the Wolf he trusts, but he hasn't.
Oh wait, that reminds me. Did you hear that they leaked a line? Like David Harbour, he leaked a line
It's
from Doomsday. Do you know what it is?
no.
You are Tony Stark. Like I'm not even joking.
Okay, all
That's
right,
what he leaked.
whatever.
That's
We'll,
what he
we'll, we'll
leaked.
keep it moving. All right, we'll keep it
Really,
moving.
he gives Gene the Wolf evidence for her case. He can't really give her evidence if there's no evidence. Besides, catching Gene kind of exonerates all the people who are being arrested, isn't it?
They are.
Well,
But they don't, right?
you can it doesn't have to be evidence, but you can form a theory at the very least because it's an ongoing case. Like if you're stuck, you can form an
I
educated
just
guess.
I don't know how like prosecutorial standards would shift in the MCU, right? There'd probably be like some room for magic bullshit or something.
But like, well, it's not even like like prosecutorial stuff. It's just investigations. Like when you're investigating something, especially like in the context of the MCU, you should account for several different types of theories. And I don't know why
Like
you
it just
I
wouldn't
don't
hurt for Spider-Man to say something, I guess. Like
I
that's
don't know
all.
why the police wouldn't accept Yelena's theory on like possession, like considering she's a well-respected figure. Like she is
Yeah,
apparently a
I
part
guess
of
the
the
argument would be
Avengers.
Elena's not in like contact with the cops or something.
Yeah, but she's still an Avenger. Like that should have like some legitimacy. Like a Jean DeWolf should still like take that into consideration and maybe like suggest that with her peers.
Maybe, I don't know.
Invades every citizen's privacy in order to scan faces and search through private information, completely violating some rather basic laws and ethics. Peter.
Unless you're the cops. The cops do that all the time.
Oh my God! Like the point,
What?
like Winter Soldier had this like outright condemned like the surveillance state, and this film just goes, never mind. Sometimes people do deserve to have that much power. I think that's just like a like just hand waving that criticism away as, oh well, the cops do it too. It just kind of, yeah. Well, should they? And like, should
Wouldn't they
they?
need a warrant though? Like if the
Yeah,
system were like if they want to scan all your or like subpoena certain stuff, wouldn't they need to get a warrant? Like it's not just like they instantly pull up any and all info about you, right?
yeah. Like normally, if we just if a guy just had all this power, like
Like
who
is it like
isn't.
a FISA warrant or something? I don't know. That's not my realm of expertise.
Yeah, I mean, like people criticize all the time of private entities and corporations stealing people's information from them. I think that's what Facebook was doing, like Meta, like it's just stealing people's information and just selling them to like China or something.
Mhm.
I think I remember that was a controversy, and but like like a private citizen like like Peter, we're not supposed to care. I don't know. It just seems tone deaf. Tone deaf.
Really good documentary. Oh, here's the thing. If you'd be surprised how little privacy you have in your home if you have a camera at your house. You are part of a surveillance state, even if you know it or not. But again, the cops do it, and it's not a crime when they do it. It's the law when they do it.
Okay, is Peter a cop?
I'm gonna need more substantive evidence than that. What he just said. Like if he wants to say that the cops have the same level of surveillance, I'm just gonna need like something more than, oh, if you happen to have a camera, there might be something fishy going on.
Hmm.
That should terrify you.
Is simply sitting on revolutionary, world-changing technology that could
Not really. So, in context, the cameras, cops do that in real life today. Not revolutionary. His computers, it's all high-tech stuff they could have dumpster dived for. A fabricator, sewing machine, we have that in real life.
Oh my God, bro.
I
Like
mean, the technology is like kind of always like an iffy thing for me in these movies because it's like, how did they get this or able to build this or that? Um, I like what level of like technology commensurate to Spider-Man's intellectual capacity, ability, and resources is like I don't think it's like too outside of the scope of like what he should have. I don't know.
oh yeah, yeah. Joffrey, uh, Joffrey Mingo in the chat is bringing up the AI glasses from Far From Home. Because if you remember, he said he wanted to respect people's privacy with the AI glasses. I guess he just
Oh,
doesn't have that outlook
well,
anymore.
okay, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, wait. I'm already under Kino. It's been like however many years since then, right? He's clearly changed his mind.
Yes, he's clearly he's clearly underdeveloped. He's clearly gone underdeveloped since then. Yeah, but yeah, is it ever explained why Peter just isn't working at a like I never bought into the living standards in this film. It tries to have him like living in a rundown apartment to show like how relatable he is, but realistically, like he should be living way better than he
I
is
mean,
now.
listen, let's not get into Manhattan real estate and like what what should Peter be living in? Like
Maybe
we
credentialism
could
is
go
that
down
bad.
that. Actually, I don't even know what borough of New York City he's in. So
Like I don't know. It kind of just gives me uh
is it
like
Brooklyn?
it kind of just gives me Ironheart vibes where like a character's talents are just downplayed for the sake of the story. They would like be realistically be very well off and comfortable if they were if they actually
Oh
were
yeah,
able
I
to
mean
use their
yeah,
talents.
with Ironheart specifically, she has more than enough to become wealthy very easily, and even besides that, just like get a job at a
Hmm.
tech firm. But for some odd reason, she says that she wouldn't like the people at her office, at her work. So now she's gonna decide to be a criminal. It's bizarre.
The
But hey,
inheritorship
hey,
chip is the
hey,
closest you
we
get.
can't have a character making bad decisions, right? Otherwise, oh
Yes,
no, we don't have a story. And it's like
true.
again, like you can have her make those decisions, but then just nobody's gonna like her, and she's gonna be a villain. Like that's it.
Yeah.
To it, and that's a modified version of what the Hulk already made. So he's taking technology that Bruce Banner already invented, and he's modifying it to be universal. It's not that he came up with the idea first, he took what someone else did and is building on it. But also, Peter Parker has always been noteworthy as an intelligent person. He's always been an intelligent, smart character. Ergo, yeah, he can make technology that's useful. He made his web shooters out of household chemicals. He's smart at taking things that are on hand and working with it. Don't forget, last film, he made cures for the Sandman, Lizard, Electro, and Green Goblin.
But that was with like the Stark machine, right? That was with like the high-tech Stark machine.
While he still had access to like Stark Industries, and also just like really brilliant scientists helping him out too.
Oh yeah, there were the other Peters helping him as well, right?
Yeah. John gets gaming for $5. It totally negates the end of No Way Home. He was supposed to be bare bones and get new relationships and not be all set up with magical AI and printers. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like there were supposed to be higher stakes, but no, like he just has like his shitty rundown apartment where he just has a GED. Like he can still afford like 3D printers apparently.
This version of Peter Parker is very intelligent. It's been established across multiple films that Peter Parker is a smart kind of guy. Spider-Man is a scientist. It's a fact that surprises so many characters, but I digress.
Save countless lives and uses it to spy on people, to take powers from heroes, and to provide this service and capacity to the worst subcategory of the government in the universe. Anyone?
Wait a second. I thought they were innocent. I thought they were innocent though, MauLer. A few seconds ago, weren't they innocent government guys?
Oh my God. Obviously the higher ups are unethical, but like the lower level grunts
Yeah.
like can be said to be innocent.
Innocent security
And
guys.
like
Now they're
this
the worst.
is the other thing, right? If it's unreasonable for Jean to know that the head of the department would know what the department itself is doing, then how would she make the assumption that any of the like the boots on the ground people would also be privy to that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
People in the world. Someone make this make sense to me. Is damage control innocent, or are they the worst people in the world?
I think that there's an in between, and not everything is black and white. Like if I don't even need an analogy. It should just be that obvious.
It seems to me that you can't be consistent in your own video in 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes and you're already contradicting yourself. How the fuck do you contradict your core arguments 10 minutes in? Anyway.
Remember The Dark Knight?
This is wrong.
The Dark Knight did different technology. The Dark Knight turned the phones into a sonar system.
It's the same concept. Like you shouldn't use like technology.
Yeah, it's like sonar for the purpose of surveillance, right? Like whatever like individual mechanism that the technology uses, it's like mass surveillance technology.
Yeah, you all of these like this example still applies because it's using like technology on an unsuspecting public. You're putting all of them at risk for the benefit of yourself, like to give yourself an advantage. And there is something to be asked of whether or not their privacy should be respected.
Peter Parker is accessing the cameras that are already built into the city. The Dark Knight turned cell phones unlawfully and without consent into sonar devices. That is dramatically different than what Peter Parker's doing, which is just accessing cameras that are already planted and already hooked up to a network for the police to access. They are nothing alike. And also, you sign off your consent to have your camera be a device for the government already, so.
Can use it. Spying on 30 million people isn't part of my job description.
Anyone remember Project Insight?
For once, we're way ahead of the curve.
That also had a much different perspective as well, that was involving genetic code and probability and algorithm. Peter Parker is accessing a system that already exists in our current reality. This isn't science fiction, it's science fact. These devices already exist. He's just plugging an algorithm that also already exists into the camera.
Maybe that's... Have you ever considered that our system is just as unethical as those other systems? Especially when applied in that way, in the way Peter does? Like,
I mean, again, I would have to go back and see what like the exact phrasing is as to like what exactly he's accessing and not accessing.
None of that is sci-fi. That is current day reality. And nothing at all like Project Insight that used genetic code and probability based on massive algorithms of data and is not facial recognition to find a known criminal.
By holding a gun to everyone on Earth and calling it protection. This isn't freedom. This is fear.
Captain America would be disgusted with this scumfuck. Hell,
They use these systems in the film you're talking about. They use facial recognition technology in the Captain America films to track people. They're deliberately trying to find Bucky, and they use facial tracking to find him, ultimately.
Peter Parker would be disgusted with whoever this freak is, considering he gave up that same power in Far From Home the moment it was stumbling on private information.
No, don't look at it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yes. This is what someone in chat pointed out.
What private information? Here's the problem, MauLer. You don't seem to understand how this technology works. Having access to a camera is not the same as getting their birth certificate information from a...
Whoa. Hold on. Yeah, like you're seeing yeah, like you can see their text messages, like their message exchanges, like that is pretty unethical. Yeah, that's like going way too far.
Private information.
No, don't look at it. Well, I guess the question here is going to be like, if he's accessing like public cameras within the city to run a facial recognition scan on like people, you know, in the city versus what's going on in Spider-Man Far From Home, that would be a distinguishing factor.
Yeah.
Information.
So I could
Here's the problem.
agree with that.
MauLer. You don't seem to understand how this technology works. Having access to a camera is not...
Oh wait, hold on real quick.
Hello?
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Okay.
not the same as getting their birth certificate information from a technological hacker. The technology Peter Parker accesses already exists and is being used today. If this scares you, it should. But it's also very real and used actively in crime solving today. It is also wildly inaccurate based on statistics.
Don't look at it. That's
Okay. Where do we go with this? So first off, the criticism MauLer's raising is concerning Peter's prior characterization, as many people would reasonably find this to be like very unethical. Like this is not a standard that should be applied.
Well, this is where he's marking out the difference, right? Like this piece of technology seems to like go like further in depth than just like accessing public cameras.
Yeah.
So if Peter's just accessing public cameras to run facial recognition software, it's like it's technically illegal, but it's not crossing the same moral boundaries as this piece of technology is crossing.
Mm.
So I mean, I might like agree with like this specific point.
Okay.
Rock bottom, lonely Spider-Man is all in name only. He is as corporate as they come, living in a huge New York loft, excited to approach each day, collaborating with the police and federal agencies via futuristic tech while FaceTiming the Avengers whenever he wants.
That's what happens in the comics too. He also has a big loft in New York City in the comics. He dumpster dives in these films.
Couldn't there at least be like a minor explanation? Like I would at least say like you could show him like what his part-time side hustle is to like add further characterization.
I will say,
while watching the movie, I was like, does he have rent, or like was there something I was missing? Like was there a special agreement where he didn't have rent or something?
I will say, this has been like one of the most on and off aspects of the Spider-Man comics too where criticism could be levied. I remember a lot of Spider-Man writers are divisive of the Sam Raimi organic web shooters because in the comics, Spider-Man originally tried selling his organic web shooters to companies, or like at least the fluid, and they were like, yes, we'll give you we'll make you rich if you sell this to us. But then they found out that it dissolves after like a set amount of time, and they're just like, oh, this is useless. Get out of here, you arachnid freak. And it's just like that would probably make a bunch of money on Shark Tank you would still get investors. So it's just sort of like a weak reason to like to have like Peter like still in poverty. Uh, like I guess a better reason would be, oh yeah, there's kind of like an ultimatum because you can get away with Peter can get away with taking pictures of himself, but he can't get away with having the same exact spider fluid or like fluid as the like Spider-Man, as the very public superhero who uses the same type of web fluid. That would expose him.
I mean, maybe it's just like a minor detail. Like they could have given just like a side hustle or like a brief explanation as to what he does like for work outside of being Spider-Man.
Yeah, just
Like
like
just
working
because
at
there might be a comic that doesn't go into that doesn't mean the film can't.
yeah, maybe working at a tech shop and he's like taking all of the leftover scraps to build stuff. That would have been,
Yeah.
I think that would have been a satisfactory answer.
He also talks to the Avengers and
He could have been part of Geek Squad.
Fantastic Four in the comics too, don't forget. He also has advanced technology that he builds on his own. The web shooters, for one. The spider trackers, for another. The spider car, which he's never used on film. The spider belt with its packs of various technological things. His spider wings, which are also very infrequently used on film. And most importantly, the only technology he's using for the cameras is, in fact, him just hacking the systems that already exist. It's not complicated.
Rainy Peter Parker was fired from delivering pizzas while selling his photos at diminishing returns, and he was still struggling to make his rent. He was also authentically lonely. He was struggling to grow his social connections. He had barely any technology. Regardless of all that, Peter is a...
Yeah, that one had very little technology, that's true. That's also that version of Peter Parker. Not every version of Peter Parker...
Yeah, no duh. Yeah, so he's kind of like missing like the bigger
Is he
point
gonna?
of
I
he's
would
got
be interested if he responds to the selling pizza and the photography at diminishing returns.
yeah, like yes, exactly. Like the bigger problem like Mahler is pointing out is that Peter having a job like that expands on his character. It puts more empathy. It puts more focus on his secret identity and having to live in the real world. Whereas in this film, he hardly lives in it. He's like mainly Spider-Man, and I know the film focuses on that, but it never like fleshes out how exactly he can barely live as Peter.
Parker is
Yeah,
written the
again, like
exact
this,
same way.
you could just like say, okay, I agree with this, but maybe I don't think it's the biggest deal or something, versus just like completely discounting that as a criticism, because it could lead to potentially interesting avenues for the story to go.
Hmm.
And so by that metric, why would every Peter Parker function exactly the same? Hell, in the comics, he tries to sell his technology. It doesn't work out very well. Yeah, no, the lack of job, that's a critique. That is a critique worth having. I had the same critique. How does he make his money? How does he pay for all this?
Oh, okay.
It's also
What are we doing?
minor.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is just going to be one thing that MauLer brings up, like, and then he's going to move on to the next point.
Critique worth having. I had the same critique. How does he make his money? How does he pay for all this? It's also a relatively minor critique because it discusses the functionality of how he gets his tech, but the conflict isn't about the tech; it's about him as a person, and so that's a big factor as well. In fact, with
Yeah, again, like this video is multifaceted. It's not just like that criticism. Like
I've
this alone,
always
obviously, it's not going to mean much, but it's just in total with all the other criticisms, it's just something to keep
it's
in
just
mind.
a constant through line I've seen with Spider-Man is that balancing being a superhero versus his obligations personally and professionally suffer because of his demands as Spider-Man. And that dynamic is always a part of the stories that I remember through the Spider-Man films. So, again, even if this story specifically doesn't have that as a core of its narrative, it could still be again a point that the film doesn't explain. And again, this is like one critique that Muller's bringing up. I don't know. Does he say like this completely debases the film because they didn't explain how he gets his money? I think he's just like pointing it out, like, hey,
It's more so just like, hey, we could have gone so much more with this premise, but it hardly gets explored at all. When other films have given us like really iconic moments with Peter Parker at the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, that's
A
true.
lot of the stuff he uses to make his equipment, it's fabricators, AI. Unfortunately, AI is now very cheap, and he knows where to find it. He can dumpster dive outside Stark Towers for all I know. Also, don't forget that the Marvel Cinematic Universe exists in a world where technology is more advanced than it is in our reality, and thus far more advanced than it is in the Sam Raimi continuity. Much more advanced. So, comparing the technology and accesses that Peter Parker has in the Raimiverse is ridiculous in a world where Tony Stark, Stark Industries, Wakanda, S.H.I.E.L.D., various space, we've been to space, the Asgardians are here now, which have advanced technology too. Comparing the cheapness of technology in the MCU to the cheapness in the Raimi universe is ridiculous. There's no comparison at all.
A cranially carbonated immoral scumfuck to spare Jean Grey from any and all justice despite being the most wretched, oxygen-thieving murder-wumble this side of the broken-ass Feigeverse. Personally, I don't
even think that Jean Grey is the most vile character Peter Parker has fought in his own movies. Like, that's the thing. He's so hyperbolic with this. It sounds like someone who doesn't have a good argument, doesn't it?
Okay, but
Someone
she's
who has
really
to
bad,
convince-
right? She's really bad, and they just let her go.
Like, she does not redeem herself to a significant degree. I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, she helped Peter breathe. She helped him stay alive." Well, yeah, that's the bare minimum. She should do more.
Well, yeah, I mean, like one good deed does not excuse like everything else she did, right? Like imagine like you're recovering from the hospital. You have to pay your medical bills plus like months of recovery. And you're like whoever did this, like they're going to pay, right? And they're like, "Well, like she did kind of help out Spider-Man in the end, so you're kind of on your own, man." Like you're going to be like, "Oh, great."
Hmm.
You there right by sounding like an intimidating badass who says the worst, most vile things possible. Meanwhile, it's like, who gives a fuck? It's like, oh, how'd you pay for everything? It's like, okay, yeah, good question. Not answered in the film. Most people don't give a shit. They get over it. And you can say how important that is, but ultimately speaking, what really matters is, does this at all negatively impact the conflict they're trying to tell, which is about a guy who is at war with himself, and have characters who reflect that
Yeah, like at the end,
struggle.
they're like, pause. At the end, they're like, yeah, she's okay. And then they're like, yeah, she just left. And it's like, are we gonna be like, hey guys, we gotta go and get her? No.
Mm.
And then it's like, yeah, she's all right. What?
Struggle is only meaningful because it reflects the internal struggle that Peter faces in the film. Whether or not Peter can afford a laptop or has to dumpster dive for it is not super relevant to that core conflict. Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good fridge question, but like, it's not a make or break question. It's like, oh, that's a dumb thing they didn't include in the movie. And then you move on with your life. It's not worth getting angry about. It's like, oh, that's kind of stupid. Why'd they explain that? It's not worth lingering on like this. Yeah. The problem is it's super, super, super ingrained in just what is the relevant thing right here. But no one really gives a fuck about that. They care about, will the guy get out okay? Will they save the day in the end? Will he find happiness? Will he be with MJ? I'll tell you this, in my theater, more people were like emotionally responding to the MJ and Peter scenes than anyone asking me, how's he afford that laptop? Because no one cares in the moment. They care about the emotional journey the characters go on.
To love.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
again,
that's just
but like,
so you're just
I
appealing
did think
to
about that. Wait,
popularity?
1 second. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
again, this is just appealing to popularity. Like, do you only feel that way because everyone in the theater felt that way too? I think that's a really weak argument.
Yeah, I mean, I did think about this. I was like, wait, how is he getting his money? I'm like, huh, that's weird. Like, it did pop in my head while I was watching the film, right? And it's like, okay, just because like most people don't care, and I'm not even saying it's like the most important thing about the film, but it is a critique you can have of the movie.
Of listening to Peter insist Jean isn't a killer after she had a ninja Sudoku himself, she blew.
The hand can survive that. The hand is notoriously hard to kill. That's like a key part of who the hand are. They can take a lot of hits and keep going.
Yeah, they're a death cult. It should raise more questions as to why they're at damage control, but Peter just doesn't care.
Like
Also,
this version of the
that's
hand,
not
have we seen them been able to like take stabs and
Yeah,
like getting
Nobu.
shot?
Nobu, like in the Daredevil show, he comes back. He comes back.
Yeah,
to
but
life.
this version of the hand is different than like what we've seen in Daredevil, right?
I had to rewatch the Defenders to see what their feats
Because like
are.
over here they're like, oh, they were just kids, like who needed direction, and there's like 6 of them.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know about that.
Whereas like the hand were like straight up like dozens of murderers. Like,
Yeah.
Fatal strike. He stabbed himself in the stomach. Yeah, but it's not stomach. Lower intestine really, but it's not a fatal hit.
blew up several buildings, she froze tens of thousands of people, and she walked an innocent old man in front of a car.
Yes, you've said that multiple times. It's 12 minutes. You shouldn't have this much padding in your review. You've said this. Get on with it.
You're not a murderer. You just said you killed 3 people. I know, but I'm saying deep down.
This movie even shits all over Yelena, that pitiful photocopy of better times. She discovers through Spider-Man
The Nice Guys is a great film. Go watch it.
that innocent people are being taken by an adjacent yet interwoven Justice Department for observation, experimentation, and other human rights violations related to mind control, and doesn't give a single shit, despite that being her core trauma from the Red Room, something that defined the majority of her life, and she passes it off with no less enthusiasm than a constipated gorilla preparing his tax return. 2 sisters are attempting to reach each other despite a greater evil institution keeping them apart involving mind control, and she is simply disinterested. Actually hilarious.
I seem to recall those scenes being a little different there. It's small potatoes for her because she knows he's got it. If she was disinterested entirely and truly, she wouldn't be giving him any information. He gets ahead in the story only because Yelena provides information to him. And while she delegates the tasks to Spider-Man, that does not mean she's not interested. She's providing information to him. It's not really her story. So in general, and this is difficult for someone, I guess, I don't know if MauLer has much corporate experience or has worked in an organization where there's multiple people who have multiple jobs. Delegation is when you pass off work that is not a big enough topic for you to someone at a lower station in the organization. In this case, Yelena is delegating information to Spider-Man. And then we find out at the end of the film, which you would know if you saw the film and listened to all the dialogue. I know it gets difficult with subtitles there. A couple inches is hard to read sometimes. Yelena is actively investigating damage control and going through all the information that's publicly available from that to find out what else potentially Metzger was doing. So to say she's not interested is actually the complete opposite of what happens in the film, because in reality, Yelena is actively investigating damage control and using Spider-Man as an asset to get that information for herself. And then in the end of the film is presented as accessing and investigating that information. That is directly stated in the film. It is not me implying it. They fucking say it. It's not a subtlety. It's a whole thing they say at the end of the film. You would know this because you have the film on your hard drive and are plugging it in to this footage as we're going along. You have the footage. You know that line is in the movie.
Yeah, but the argument would be that because of how like personally traumatic it was for her, she wouldn't just be like Googling stuff on her laptop, right? Like she would be very personally invested in also solving this herself.
The
And it
entire
wouldn't be like small potatoes, right?
the entire falling action or what gets the
Like
plot,
not so much just interest, it would be like direct investment to the point of like getting off your ass and doing something.
what starts the plot for Thunderbolts is a government conspiracy. Like why it doesn't I can't buy that this character, this former spy, wouldn't care about a government conspiracy regarding like another prominent organization, or like she would just like she just let Spider-Man do it by himself. That doesn't really it just doesn't work.
Hmm.
Yeah. But again, she's just industry plant. She can do whatever the plot wants without anyone caring about her previous characterization.
You have it. It's right there on your hard drive. And yet somehow you forget these key plot points consistently. Can't imagine why.
That they assassinate such a forced and worthless character with just a minute of screen time. The film is packed with flashback imagery of better films on top of scattered stale jokes referencing Lord of the Rings or the fact that scorpions are nocturnal. You get insecure exposition dumps like the detective telling Spider-Man to stop the bad guys from reaching the building. Spider-Man put all the criminals in because the bad guys could end up freeing all the criminals Spider-Man put in the building, and Spider-Man then says, yeah.
This dialogue is shorter than your description of it. You spent more time crying about the dialogue than they had on screen. Strange.
Okay, so we're not defending the dialogue is good. We're just saying, okay, maybe it was bad, but it's like but like he's not criticizing the length of the statement, right? He's just saying like the statement itself is useless.
Yeah.
Right,
John
like
gets,
it's like I'm remembering it's Doctor Strange, the opening. It's like, look, the Book of Ashanti, and it's like a bit of like exposition that's not really needed because the characters themselves would like not need to like point that to themselves out, like the very thing they're like chasing afterwards.
yeah.
Right. And it's like, okay, like, yeah, he spent like longer complaining than the amount of time it took them to say the actual sentence, but
Yeah.
like he's just pointing that out as a negative.
All right. John gets gaming for $2. And attacking padding, self-awareness, equals 0.
I don't
This
know
is
how much more I got in me, dude.
how much is there? Oh, we're at an hour 20 out of a 2 hour 44 video. But in other news, SK pushed the disagreement day to Sunday, so I have an extra day to do it. If anything.
I know. Who do you think put him in there? Or how about the condescending as fuck line?
But yeah, we can quit whenever we can stop whenever you want, Callisto.
Sometimes Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's
Ace, dude, it's just so weird how he keeps obsessively covering Cribble Drinker. Would be a shame if he said it was weird for someone to cover him. Yeah, like Ace, like towards the end, he says something like really funny. Like it just that's just completely ironic. That's just complete irony considering the Wendigo situation.
heart. The plot
I think I shared it with you.
looks like minced confetti after a nice soak in acid. It's just so lucky that Peter bumped into Ned, to then see MJ, to then have an existential crisis over the thought of sitting in the cuck chair, causing a biological reaction that facilitates the creation of a universal inhibitor that he happens to end up using to neutralize Jean. The film is over without that random encounter. The film is...
Yeah, it's over without that, because they live in the same city and eventually would bump into each other. I'm not sure if you've ever been in a location, sometimes you just bump into people, especially in like a public area. So like, what's the point? Like, I don't get what's wrong with these lines. He says, "Oh, this line is so condescending." Like, how?
One second. New York City? Like, what is
There
the
are millions
odds
of
you
people
bumping in the exact person you need to bump into in New York City? You know, like, this is gonna be like I don't even like super mind, but like I would say it's a contrivance, right? But like, yeah, there's like the statistical like I'm sure you could do like an analysis, like what are the statistical odds of bumping into the exact person you need just randomly throughout New York City versus like, you know, what is it, versus like any X thing happening to you, right? I mean, it is like pretty crazy that just like they could have found a narrative way for them to come together, right? That would be the argument.
Yeah.
Right? Like the argument would be there's probably a more substantive narrative way to like this reminds me of the Predator Badlands thing. I never saw the movie, but I saw like part of the coverage. And the argument was, well, like the Predator, whatever his name is, lands like kind of very close to the location of where like the plot ensues.
Just,
And people are like,
like
oh,
after
that's
a
like
few
a minor
minutes.
nitpick. And then they said like, no, you could have him like land, and then we see him trek for a while. Like we see a montage
Like
over
literally
like
have
days.
a time skip,
Yeah,
or
so
just
I
like
was like,
show a
oh, okay,
title
like that was
card.
a more interesting, like yeah, that would be a more interesting way to do it, right? It doesn't always have to be like those two can't meet together. It's just like maybe there's a more interesting narrative way for that to happen.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it? The problem is that MauLer clearly is bothered by this line. Apparently so. The problem is that when you are writing this kind of line, when you're describing this kind of line.
Oh yeah, and just to expand on like the MJ and Ned point, you could have like they were geniuses themselves. They could have like been part of an organization, or like come out as leaders in New York City that would have prompted Spider-Man to bump into them again. Yeah, there's like so many ways they could have done this.
And why it's bad. You actually have to explain to your audience what's bad about it.
From Alex the Critic, it's like every single person Gene mind control just happened to be evil, so they all deserved what happened to him.
It would have been so funny if the director just came out and said, "Yeah, that guy who got hit by a car, he was a pedophile. How do you feel now? How do you feel now, huh?" It would have been bullshit, but that would have been a funny troll.
Oh, it's condescending. Well, how is it condescending? What about it so bad? If your audience can be confused, going like, "Oh, why is the line bad?" It just seems like a pretty distinct line illustrating the difference between Peter Parker and Spider-Man, how he sees them as two different identities in himself. Like, where's the downside of that? Where's the problem? So the issue here is that you are consistently saying, "Oh, this is bad," but you're not explaining why it's bad. It's not self-evident. But then again, you over-explain things like, "Oh, Spider-Man has to put these guys away, and it's bad writing." Well, it's a throwaway line. You spent more time complaining about it than they spent saying it. So it's like very stupid thing to get hung up on.
That's not like just because a film might like briefly show something, And it's like, oh well, it was a bad thing, but I need to explain the issue in less time. Like just because something happens like very quickly doesn't mean it might have outsized effects, right? So I like I would just say, yeah, okay, I think it's an issue, but I don't believe it. Like I would say, like if I was in his shoes, maybe I don't believe the bad dialogue goes further out than those specific lines or something, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, oh, you like the time it takes to complain about it.
So over if Jean doesn't allow Peter to see her face for no reason at all. The film is also over if Frank doesn't happen to have every tool Peter needs to construct a universal inhibitor that can deactivate the Hulk
The tools are used to make bombs. They're basic stuff. He just has them on hand. He makes bombs with them. The thing is, his tools he's talking about aren't particularly complicated tools either. It's like just craftsman stuff.
Spider-Man and Jean, I enjoy torturing defenseless old women Gray in his dingy fucking basement.
Wait, can you pause?
Yeah.
Is he going to bring up what MauLer said about how like Jean had no reason to reveal her face or whatever, which was like a major thing? Is he going to address that one?
Apparently not, even though Jean herself knows that not hiding her face is risky, considering a government agency is after her still. It's a pretty good.
Yeah, because she kind of like hid her face in the apartment, right?
She just has a hood over her face, yeah.
Okay, but like, yeah, still there was like no need for her to. Like, I guess you would make the argument like, oh, did she suspect that Spider-Man would have like a face tracking AI running at all times, like to visually confirm? But I don't think he's responded to that. And like, yeah, I think the solder, like they explained it in the movie, right? He's like soldering things together, so like he would use the soldering to make the bombs.
Yeah.
The old woman, she just mind controls them. You said yourself that they don't remember anything, so it's not torture. It's just using them as a vessel to move from one place to the next. Not like no torture being done here. So the question is, what is the torture being done here?
Well, I mean, like strapping you into an APC and then just barreling through jails or multiple structures of concrete it's not gonna be good for you.
Yeah.
He's using some strong words.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then also there's the bomb in the goddamn vehicle.
That's right. That's right.
But his own description of the scene contradicts the strong words he's using. Anyway.
The film is also over if MJ didn't happen to know exactly what the inhibitor needed to work where Spider-Man didn't. What the fuck?
Not really. The movie just happens to work on Spider-Man. That doesn't impact anything that would happen with Jean. He'd still be able to use the inhibitor on Jean, even if MJ wasn't there, because MJ's advice is specifically only referencing how it would work on Peter Parker, specifically, because his eyelids have electrical interference. So that's actually not relevant at all. You're actually completely wrong about that point. The inhibitor would...
Being mind-controlled isn't torture?
Still work on Jean, despite MJ being there.
It's not torture.
So,
like if it doesn't cause like physical pain, but it's like it's like a fundamental violation of like somebody's like
autonomy,
consent, right? Yeah, autonomy and judgment.
Yeah, and it's less like something...
regarding the point of the inhibitor, like this might be correct because it's like specific. Like I don't know, like specifically, like she, like I guess like it would be like one different modification for the magnetic polarity caused by his mask versus one for somebody who doesn't have it. So this point could be correct.
Yeah.
The Hand in this stupid movie. Daredevil dealt with them only for them to somehow return, then get defeated by Spider-Man off-screen, to then wander around DODC until the director decided they're a group of kids without a leader that just need guidance. What the fuck hallucinogen are you on, you clown bucket, they say.
That's not even a good critique. Bad guys come back. It's an organization. Do you think when you beat an organization, it disappears overnight? Like, Daredevil beat the Hand in season 2 of Daredevil. They came back in 2 more shows, Iron Fist and Defenders, because their one plan didn't work. So, what?
Say mechanical and organic webs cannot be used at the same time when Peter could obviously just place them on the other side.
Wouldn't the criticism be that the Hand is very different from what we see in Brand New Day versus the Hand we've historically seen?
Yeah.
Like it's not so much like they return, but like the Hand in like the Daredevil show, not just in terms of their power level, but their like sadism and like the amount of numbers and the characteristic of the organization seemed a bit different than like 6 directionless teenagers, right?
Yeah, they are a death cult they are an assassin death cult that use all sorts of weird, fucked up rituals, and they're essentially indoctrinated into a like a cult mindset. Like it makes no sense to use these specific characters instead of like well, the reason that they're chosen is because they're just ninjas. That like they're interchangeable with each other. They're just seen as like grunts, but there's way more to their lore than that.
Okay, so like yeah, this would be the thing, right? Like would Spider-Man know about like what the Hand are about, right? Because if the Hand is originally like a death cult, right? And then he meets Metzger, and Metzger's like, they're directionless teenagers. He would be like, no, that's not what they are, right? Like they're not. They're like a very evil organization. There seems to be a disconnect between what like the Hand has been shown to be previously versus what the Hand is now.
Hmm.
Of his arms and reprint a suit to facilitate that. Hell, he could just put them further down on the same side. Apparently, Peter's spider sense couldn't detect the beeping countdown of the damn bomb in the tank. Apparently, Peter's AI camera system is more advanced and sentient than anything we have, and yet it can't detect a standard-ass fucking intruder bumbling into his own home. How, if Jean could only control people one at a time in the first 2 acts, was she able to mind control the driver to get her to the bottom of the building, and at the same time mind control MJ at the top of the building? Huh? And on the
How do you know she did it at the same time? A lot of these are really stupid comments. The AI hacked into camera systems outside of in the city, not inside his apartment, which has no security that we can know of. Further, also, there's no evidence that she mind controlled the driver and Zendaya at the same time. That doesn't happen. We don't see that happen. We see.
So I guess like the
Zendaya,
argument would be she's like parked. But wait. Actually, this is an interesting question, right? Well, if she's mind controlling MJ while she's not mind controlling the driver, wouldn't the guy be like, hey man, what the hell is going on? Like, where am I? Like, what the hell is going on here?
Hmm.
Right? Like, so like if she's just like she has the car parked, right? Like she has the car parked and then she's controlling MJ this whole time. Wouldn't it be like hey, like who the hell, like wouldn't the driver be freaking out like, excuse me, where am I? Like what the hell? Like why am I in this car at this time and location? Like the only way this could work that I could think of is like at one point she's stolen somebody else's car, which she could do, and then she like always just randomly pulls somebody aside from the street to be her driver for like that specific moment in time, and then lets them go.
Hmm.
So like she would have to get one driver there to drive her to the. Actually, I don't even know how this would work, right? Because it's like. Because it would be like how far, like this is all very technical, right? Because I'm like confusing myself thinking about it, because it's like she starts off like somewhere and then she hops all the way to MJ, right? But then wherever she is would have to be close enough for the drive to be short enough for her to eventually approach MJ there, where they eventually end up, right? So they like it would at some point require her to mind control both of them at the same time, because she doesn't ultimately know where, like what specific roof they're going to land on, right? Like the time in between letting control of MJ go and controlling this driver to get to them is so short. Like you would eventually, there would have to be a crossover in time.
Yeah, good point.
Then she's in the car. Doesn't mean she was at the same time.
Right? Because
Hell, it doesn't even
my
mean-
initial thought could work if she was very close by to the building, right? Like if she was close to the building, then yeah, she could let go of MJ, then grab somebody off the street, get in the car, and then just do a short drive to the building. But the issue is Peter at any point could be on any building, right? So inevitably, if you were analyzing it this seriously, you would say there had to be some crossover in time at once.
True.
That necessarily there was any divide there. She could have been having like an Uber or something like that, taking it and then taking over the mind control of it. You know? You don't know. The problem is there's a lot of elements here where you're making big assumptions despite no evidence being there. Why does the Hand show back up? Because it's a comic movie. Bad guys show up again for second fights. Happens, you know? All of this is really...
Yeah, but the hand. They could have just invented a new supervillain group instead of just bringing back the Hand, because the Hand, they're a pretty big threat and they have ripple effects all across like New York City, especially the criminal underworld.
Really dumb. This is a bad way of criticizing movies because what you're ultimately doing is nitpicking plot points that don't actually matter.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like that's all anyone could that's like what the Rise of Skywalker is the most like notorious for. Like Mauler even showed that. You
Yeah,
can't just
I
bring
mean,
back
again,
your
this is always the issue, right? Like you can say something is like a nitpick, but like these details start to add up. And then past a certain point, it's like first of all, there's huge errors, right? Like this is not just like small nitpicks, right? But like some of these are like huge. Like like you could argue that the sling ring for the original like Doctor Strange 2 is like a minor point, right? Like the Defender Strange or whatever doesn't use his sling ring at the beginning, only then to have it play and matter later on. Like it's a minor detail to notice like that the sling ring is there. But actually it's like, man, if they properly accounted for that, the film would have kind of been over. So even like a small detail can have drastic ramifications sometimes.
Mhm. Yeah. I just know that Ant and his audience like wouldn't accept if like Thanos just showed up like just unannounced like for a brief uh montage. Like nobody would accept that.
And acting like they do, but they don't. So who fucking cares? Yeah, if the plot didn't happen in the way it did, the movie would be different. These are the most basic ass fucking comments I've ever heard anyone actually say in a film.
Same
Well,
note,
yeah,
how
it
is
would be.
MJ
It wouldn't
mind
make
controlling the
sense,
gods?
right? Like the argument would be you have to force contrived or nonsensical events for the plot to happen. Therefore,
Yeah.
that's like an error, right? Like it's not like logical.
Make
Like
it
you're
feel
forcing things to happen.
make it feel natural. That's all
Yeah,
anyone's asking.
like the point would be, oh hey, like let's rework this a bit for it to make no sense. Not like you have to like change everything, but just like okay, like here, and here, we'd have to change some things for it to make sense, right?
Yeah. Du-du-du-du-du.
At the door, and everyone she clears in DODC when she can only control one person at a time, and she's supposed to be controlling Bruce all the way up the building. It's very funny that Jean thinks it's evidence of the DOD.
Well, how do you know she's supposed to be holding Bruce all the way up in the building? It's not like necessarily she has to be in complete control of Bruce the whole way. All we see her entering into the building and then walking in. She could just easily have Bruce just outside and then bring him in like that, or have him trapped in some way. None of that is necessarily inherent of any issue or inconsistency. What you're doing is assuming two things are happening at the same time without any evidence to claim those are happening at the same time, and acting as though that assumption you made is a plot hole. That is the problem with your conclusions so far. You're acting as though they are definitely correlative and cohesive as a pattern. This leads to this happens at the same time as this, but you don't know that. You don't know that for sure, and that's the problem.
DC being evil, that they have weapons that can counter Spider-Man. Only she is the proof as to why they not only should, but that it would be moral. Because what if someone like you took control of a hero and turned them into a villain? Oh wait, she literally did that. Why did Metzger tell his shitty lie, as far as the writers were concerned anyway? If he was the one with the most experience experimenting and studying the mind control power and knows how it works more so than anyone else, wouldn't he be notably the best poised to not tell a shitty lie? They tell us the DODC had records of Jean and Sarah Gray. They knew they were both telepaths. They had them dead to rights, actively committing mass mind rape in the park, and when they captured Sarah, they could see another girl with her, yelling her name, only to slowly walk away. They do not capture this other.
They don't know necessarily if that is the sister. They don't have records necessarily all at the same time. We only know they had records at some point. There is no evidence saying they had all the records before capturing Sarah. So right there,
Wait.
that's irrelevant.
Also,
Also,
1 second. So they have enough of like records to know she's a danger, but like they don't know who her immediate family members are, and like they also have to like track her down to like this very specific park. Like how would they not have like records of like
They
the
don't
family?
like they were like they said that they were like their mother abandoned them. Like when they still have like a birth certificate or
Like I'd
something.
assume they would do some like basic research before they go do like a sting apprehension operation, right? Like they would at least know who the immediate family is.
Yeah.
And also it's like she's kind of like screaming it in the park. And then she's like there, like yeah, I just don't get how they wouldn't know what the sister is. Like cuz they clearly have enough info to like know who she is and where she is.
Yeah, like were they just like out on patrol, then just saw like two girls, or like just saw a girl, but somehow missed the other one, possessing people by chance? No. No shot.
Why would they need both sisters? They just want to have the one to experiment on. There's no reason to have both right now.
What? Because what they're doing is top secret, and that she could get in the way of their plans.
Yeah, that's another point, right? Like if they just kidnap one sister, then you're leaving another sister like out there in the open to
Plus, if you have
to
another
cause a
sister,
ruckus.
plus if you're trying to
Like
get
she's a
results,
loose end. She would be
yeah,
a loose end.
yeah. Also, like if you're trying to get something out of your experiment, then having another sister could like increase the chances because that means you can make more mistakes as you have
Yeah, I
another
guess like
sister
how would
to
they know like
experiment
one
on.
sister has superpowers but the other one doesn't? Like what mechanism like did Sarah specifically have? Because I know like Jean wasn't like as like powerful or as powerful as her in that moment, right? But she did like have powers, right? Her mother abandoned both of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think I
Especially
might have to tap out at this point.
All good, all good. Let's go through the chat one more time though, just to wish everyone good night and see what they have to say. Um, wait, what? Sean Steele, wait, what? Ant ignores the bigger issue of the scene. MauLer points out that the damage control guys would see and hear Jean and didn't try to capture her too, even if it was just to have no witness. Sketchy Sam, because they can have two psychics off the street. Doflamingo, you've got to be fucking kidding me with that defense. Graggle Snatch, you're dumb. John Gets Gaming, you don't just leave a pissed off psychic on the streets if you're right there. Um, how do I say this name? Udrlubaba 9904. If they're evil, she's a hostage. If they're good, she is an accessory and or a victim destined for the foster system. Flame on. I can join, bro. Maybe another time. Aspirations of mediocrity for $5. MauLer, the Earth is round, and how do you know? Helldive for 6.6. Oh man, that's one of your boys, Callisto. For $5.
I don't
And
know him. What?
no, Helldiver.
Oh, okay. A
Yeah,
fellow
yeah,
Helldiver. All right.
yeah. Ant is doing this because he hates MauLer. It's not surprising he is biased towards his critics. We should always criticize bad writing and storytelling. All right. Yeah. Like I said before, I'm gonna try to attend a debate on SK's disagreement day over it. Uh, though Backseater is going to be given the most attention for, because he has a heated rivalry with Ant. But I'll try my best to give him emotional support and prep him up, like give some debate prep beforehand. But Callisto, do you have anything else to say before we
I would just say,
call it a night?
in regards to closing thoughts, I might not necessarily agree with like every criticism, or I would even maybe even contest like sometimes in the original video, like okay, the criticism exists, but how much does it like factor into the effect on the quality of the story itself? But some of these are pretty substantial. The film has substantial issues. I'm sorry, the film has substantial issues, and it's unwillingness to recognize the villain that Jean Grey is a major problem, and the idea of just saying, "Oh, okay, well, we didn't see the bodies, so therefore all the insane things she does should I don't know, I guess it could just be
she
ignored."
she
It's
redeemed
very
herself.
similar to the Wanda like discourse at
She
the end.
redeemed she redeemed herself, you chud. She got Peter to start breathing again. She saved him while he was in the hospital, even though she was the one that put him in the hospital because of
Again,
her
like
actions in the first place. Don't ask
maybe
questions, just
maybe
consume.
maybe if the film stated like, oh, you endangered so many people, you put one guy in the hospital, it was like lucky nobody else died. You're going to prison, whatever, and then some like period of time later, they're like, Gene, like we need your help, like or like I don't know, like something, just like give me anything.
Yeah. Last
Uh,
super chat, I think. John Gets Gaming for $5. Thank you so much for the super chats, man. MauLer, Earth is round, but the writer said that for this plot to work, it has to be flat. There's aliens in this world, so who cares about reality? So true, so true.
yeah. So Yeah, I would just say again, like the explanations that I've heard so far for most of it. Not to say that the ant doesn't bring up like 1 or 2 points that I might agree with, but overall, I don't think this is not some thorough debunking.
Yeah. All right. I think we're gonna call it a night. Again, sorry guys that we had to start another stream abruptly, because like OBS crashed. But once, like I would say, check out that one if you missed anything from this stream. But yeah,